she is.
Hi.
I love your earrings. Did you buy this like when you went out in Ghana?
No, I bought it in China. I have a full set of things prepared before I came. So, yeah.
Hello everyone. It's been a hot minute since I've actually been on my YouTube. The main thing is that we are back and we are here and it's all about the present moment. But I'm just so happy to of course have you joining. So everyone, this is the most beautiful Heather. She is from Beijing and right now she's in Ghana. I'm not jealous. I'm not jealous. And today is all about just finding out what it's like for, I guess, a Chinese living in Ghana as a contractor to work in Africa and just really be integrated, part of the community and everything. Like, I'm curious to know, I'm sure everybody's curious to know exactly what it's like, what it entails, how the process is, what the procedure is, etc., etc., etc. So first of all, like, tell us, how did you get this opportunity to go out in Ghana to work?
Yeah, hi everyone. It's a great pleasure to be on your show. So I guess for anyone that I met in China, no one is surprised that I ended up in Ghana because like for a whole 2 years I was talking about how did I get on the continent, how did I go to Ghana, and then I was looking for opportunities everywhere, and then I think one of the questions you had was it easy to find a job, or like were they like publicly advertised on TV? So I think for like a lot of jobs in Africa, it's more like done by referrals, where you have to get into like specific group chats or communities, and then like maybe if you studied an African language in university, then you can get more access to these jobs because it's not very like accessible, like generally. Or I guess if you have relatives who work in Africa, then that's easy. But in my case, I asked everybody that I meet if they know anything, job opportunity in Africa, specifically for Ghana. And then finally, after 2 years, I'm here.
What was it for you that just made you fall in love with the continent and the people and everything?
Everything. I think for me, obviously, I just naturally gravitates towards like very warm culture and people. I think that's for like all of us naturally. And then like African culture is definitely one of the most welcoming cultures in the world. And then when I went back to China after studying abroad, and then my first group of friends were all Africans, and then I felt like I really empathized with them, and I admired their bravery of coming all the way to China, because I couldn't, like back then, I couldn't imagine like foreigners would come to China and study, and then sometimes even in Chinese. So I felt like they're so brave, and I wanted to help them to adapt to the culture that I grew up in. So everything just comes very naturally. And then like for a while, I was like hanging out like with all like people from all kinds of from like almost every country on the African continent. I was like, do I love the people? Like, would I actually love living in Africa? So that's when I went on a trip to Kenya for like self-discovery, because I was like, I know I love Africans already, but like, would I like living in Africa? And the response was obviously positive. I had a great experience, and I felt like I discovered my soul. This is where I belong. And then I tried to come back for the next 2 years.
I mean, I've always been interested in like Africa-China relations. There's a lot of excitement surrounding it, but at the same time, there's a lot of hesitancy. So let's do this. Let's do this.
Before coming here, I was doing pretty extensive research about Chinese companies in Africa. I was very curious of what they're doing and if it's benefiting the Africa economy and people. So I think I was also like a little bit skeptical coming in, because I know I'm going to have like the real experience on the ground. I know what I stand for, but then I wasn't really sure like the whole picture, if it's going to be the same on the ground. So like more the first 2 weeks is just learning and observing how things are getting done here. Obviously, like there's a lot of bureaucracy like involved, and then like seeing how different dynamics play out. I'm still like learning, and hope that when like later I can have a clear picture. But yeah, I think the pro is obviously now I get to be here, so I can be more like participating in different dialogues and then try to bring something different, or maybe what I want to represent from like the new generation of Chinese Chinese people who are interested in working in Africa. And also very genuinely interested in culture. And then the cons is that, like, obviously working with a Chinese company, there's like a little bit of restrictions, and they were not that happy with me going outside or like meeting my local friends sometimes. And then I'm still like navigating because obviously I'm here for work, but I also want to get as much as possible.
A lot of the infrastructure that's happening is amazing. It's beautiful. I'm just curious to know if a lot of the designs is more Chinese looking, you know, like the dragons and everything of the railway.
Right. I think for now, like, it could be seen as quite obvious that anything that's like Chinese products are like very obvious. Because the whole branding would be in Chinese, and it was targeted towards the Chinese audience, but it also has a market here. Or like infrastructure wise, I guess, yeah, it's like pretty standard at what you would see in China as well. So I think a lot of it is probably like the lack of time or resources to like actually customize solutions for the local market, because maybe you're just trying to get things done, and then so I think it'll be really nice to see more partnerships and like playing with the strength on both ends, manufacturing strength in China and maybe combining with local designs or other talents to make something actually very inclusive. I think that would be really nice.
What is your job? What is your role, and what does your job entail?
For now, I'm doing some market research in the electric vehicle sector here, which I think could be very beneficial because obviously electricity is very expensive in Ghana, and then there's a need to have more renewable energy products, and especially cars, because almost all the cars here are petroleum. So yeah, I think it could be a very environmental friendly solution. So for now, I'm learning about this industry, and hopefully we can do something cool in this sector. But so far, I've only mostly been in Accra, so more of the city life, and I guess it does starting to feel like more of any other city in the world, especially after you get involved with the international community. So that helps me adjust more quickly. But yeah, it's really nice here, very dynamic, a lot of cultural and arts and nightlife. So yeah, very vibrant.
What's the nightlife like? I've heard it's amazing.
Yeah, I've only gone out a few times. It's really nice to see people are just dancing and to like a whole another level, and then I'm just like there watching and cheering up. And yeah, I think it's fun. I hope that I can pick up some moves.
Have you tried any of like the jollof or any of the other traditional Ghanaian dishes?
Yeah, of course. Fufu, wache, and jollof rice. And so I'm quite excited because my first few meals after I landed were cooked by my Chinese colleagues. I went to like Chinese hot pot, my first meal, and then like a couple of Chinese dishes every day. So I was so excited when I actually got to go out and try fufu and wache and jollof rice, because we all know that Ghanian jollof rice is the best. So I'm happy.
Well, anyone watching, Nigerians, wherever you're from,
I'm sorry.
Don't even need to pre-drink. Just have your jollof. And
I know. Yeah.
How long you contracted to work in Ghana for?
I was in the contractor 3 years, and I guess I'll probably be going back to China every year if the situation allows. And yeah, we'll see. I hope to spend the next 5 to 10 years on the African continent. That's my plan, and so we'll see how it goes.
You might start speaking tree.
I went to a language cafe last weekend, so that was very helpful. I learned a few phrases, but I need to go back to my notes.
How has China's investments benefited local citizens?
Yeah, I mean, like I think like employment for sure, because at least more than half of our company has local staff, and I have been asking like how did they find the job or like what they were looking for before joining the company, and then I think like currently like the youth here definitely needs job opportunities. So I feel like that's definitely a beneficial factor. And then besides that, yeah, like the roads, obviously, and the infrastructure. And I think, yeah, it definitely benefited how just like the day-to-day life here. And I hope there's going to be more, especially with technology. And then, yeah, obviously, I see Transsion, Infinix, techno phones everywhere and at a very affordable rate. And adapting to technology is a huge factor in development, and everyone has a phone, and so I definitely see there's going to be more benefits with Chinese investment.
So a lot of people have mentioned that jobs aren't really being given to them. The Chinese prefer their citizens.
Yeah, I have spoken to like I met a lady who worked for a nonprofit that helps the youth to be trained for job opportunities, and yeah, according to her, the job market is not very like positive outlook at the moment, and then that's why like I have met a lot of young entrepreneurs in Africa or in Ghana, and then also I think that's like the spirit here that everyone is like willing to start a company or invest in a small business, even though job opportunities may not always be available. But I think that's a really great spirit that, especially in Ghana, I see more. So yeah.
I think as well the most important thing to remember about Africa-China relations is, I guess, every country has its different policies with China. There's a lot more involvement when it comes to employment. There's a lot more integration. Everyone's like actively doing their part to ensure that the economy is growing and work is being like fairly distributed. In some other countries, you know, there might be a disproportion of you know, the locals versus the foreigners who actually doing jobs, taking over jobs or working.
Yeah.
Some individuals might be a little bit skeptical is because maybe like they feel in China there's a lot of racial propaganda, which of course is going to like, I guess, distribute a lot of fear, because a lot of people are thinking, okay, well, this is the sort of attitude and approach that will be like governed in schools, not only the educational system, but possibly the healthcare system and within the workforce environment.
Yeah, I noticed that, for example, like sometimes my colleagues would call the local staff like the blacks, not in a discriminatory way, but it's just they're used to referring to them in a certain way. But like ever since I got here, like I hear more that they're like changing the word into like the local staff. So I feel like, well, at least there's like some positive changes. So like yeah, I think and I think I can say even like as a foreigner living here, I'm also like navigating like a lot of different dynamics. Not everyone's gonna like you because you're from Ghana, or like different images that China, or like different images they had attached with Chinese in Ghana are not always positive. So I think in anywhere like we tend to group people, or like we tend to generalize them by race. So I think the way of dealing with it is just to, I don't know, to be more human and to like connect with people on a more human level, so they understand that you're coming from a different culture, but there's no difference really between you and me. But yeah, I think it's yeah, unfortunately racism still exists, and And yeah, like I also heard more like the videos that were being spread in China of like how my friends might be facing racism there. And then, yeah, I think for now, I finally just came into like the terms that I'm just not gonna like argue anymore. I'm just going to live by my standard, and hopefully people will also see that through you. So yeah.
So who do you think will benefit in the long run? Africans, Chinese, or Africans and the Chinese?
Obviously, like in any situation, women is the best scenario, and I hope that we can have more open dialogues about it, because it's usually one-sided, either like from China or like to African countries. And yeah, it's I think we need to find a way to mutually benefit each other and to build the trust, because I think if we don't have trust or like transparency in the process, we tend to just think what is the other side thinking, and then that's not always the best approach or the most efficient way to deal with any problems, or yeah, to create the future that we want to see. So yeah, hopefully there's going to be more forums for that.
Do you feel Africa will be able to repay back these loans, or do you feel like a lot of the work that's been happening will really boost the economy so much that Africa will be able to, I guess, repay?
Yeah, well, that's a like good question. I think anyone's interest that Africa's development can be accelerated, and then it both benefits the African continent and also the people who issue the debt, because they invested in the future. So I think like obviously like there are some concerns about the debt trap, and then like what if that African countries cannot repay, but I think that's not what anyone wants to see. So I think the best way is just for like Africa and China and African countries to like work together and to actually help invest into infrastructure that will bring more profits later on. For yeah.
We don't want this to be a debt trap. From what I've been told, if there is any discrimination or prejudice acts, the Chinese will, any Chinese individuals will just get deported. But does that mean that they lose their visa as well? And are they banned from ever stepping foot in Africa?
I'm not too familiar with this yet. Obviously, like even now, I feel like it was a bit tricky, even for me to like extend my visa here, because something has happened with certain Chinese individuals in Ghana. So yeah, I don't know how the whole situation is. I know like a lot of people who have worked in Africa for a really long time, they are concerned about their future, because now they've spent more time in Africa than China, and then they are also like thinking about yeah, like what's their next step? Are they going to be able to stay here longer, or can they adapt back to China? So I feel like yeah, like a lot of Chinese workers are all also like in a little bit of a crisis, especially with COVID. But yeah, hopefully I'll learn more about the visa issues later on.
In China, some Africans may say it's just Guangzhou, where there's a big African population doing business. But do you feel Africans now will have a chance to do more business in China?
Yeah, I definitely hope so. Yeah, like when I was in China, I was definitely trying to build a community to encourage the African businesses and entrepreneurs to work more closely with the government resources for local partners. And I think after the pandemic, there has been like a lot of policies that are more encouraging. Like now, like actually there are like a lot more less African businesses in Guangzhou or like in China in general. So I think like a lot of the policies are really favoring individual entrepreneurs, because China does want to keep an image that it welcomes people, it welcomes foreign businesses, especially African businesses, with the One Belt One Road initiative. So yeah, I hope like these policies could actually bring good outcomes in business as well. Yeah, there's going to be the Changsha China Africa Expo this month. So I'll be watching out for like any results that's coming out of it. I recommended quite a lot of my friends to attend. So yeah, hopefully it will be a good opportunity and platform.
Marry into like the Ghanaian culture.
I think that's like my ultimate mission, to like not just to convince the whole world about this China Africa love, but like definitely for my family to be more accepting as well. And I think just like any family, they want to see you well, and so I need to find the right person. Even though I'm not physically here, I still hope that my experience here would give me a better vision of what I could do back home as well, and for my African brothers and sisters that are in China making the moves, that I can be more supportive. When I go back, for sure.
And on that note, guys, thank you so much for watching. Heather, thank you so much for joining me and giving me insight into your experiences and everything that's going on. Thank you.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I will look forward to the part 2 reunion episode.
Oh, yeah, honey. For those watching, you know, there is a lot of excitement between Africa and China. There is so much more to discuss when it comes to the whole topic. Heather, do you want to say anything to those watching?
Yeah, thank you so much for being part of this show. And yeah, I am looking forward to more stories being told, and also, to have a more holistic view of China Africa, and hopefully because this is our world. This is a world that used to be built from scratch, and then we have all it takes to be part of this new wave of changes. And I hope this is going to be a really great future for us. So yes, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe.
Thank you so much for watching. Peace, love, and all of the above.
Thank you so much.